In 2018, Sony Pictures released Venom, which was panned by critics yet praised by audiences. It had nothing to do with Spider-Man. With the success, Sony ran it all to the ground with sequels, A Living Vampire, and Amazonian Spider Societies. Now, in 2024, three small-time writers pitch movies to try and fix this tangled web of a franchise. I'm Jarrett.
I'm Peyton.
I'm Noah. And this is...
Has to do with Spider-Man, I think?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. The #1 podcast stop for your favorite genre of movies. Sony Picture Universe of Marvel movies, featuring mostly Spider-Man characters.
Hi, I'm Noah. Welcome to SPUMM.
And I'm Peyton.
I'm Jarrett. Welcome to Jackass.
And we come to this place for magic. We come to this place for community and joy. We come to pitch movies. But at the time of this episode releasing, there will have been a new movie that has come out that's real. That's not one of our sort of SPUMM adjacent movie pitches in our own canon that's forming. This is a real movie that's coming out. And it feels like not too long ago, we just did this whole song and dance.
In fact, it was with The Last Dance.
Yeah. Yeah, it was The Last Dance.
You almost wish that it was actually The Last Dance, and that we didn't have to do this again. But because of the situation that we decided to create for ourselves in starting this podcast, we are beholden to subjecting ourselves, because there's no better word for it, to these films that shouldn't exist, don't need to exist, and yet, for a reason that is something that we'll just have to, that no man can know, that we will be asking our Heavenly Father when the rapture finally comes to take us all home, when we are before the throne of God. The question that I ask him will not be, why was there sin? The question I ask will not be, how much love do you feel for your people? The question I ask will be, why does a loving God let the Sony Spider-Man adjacent movies exist?
Oh my god.
When we all are reaped to judgment, the deciding factor between eternal bliss or eternal damnation will be how much SPUMM we ingested over the course of our lives. We are all going to the deepest pits of hell.
Everybody who watched Madam Web straight to the darkest, deepest pit of hell.
To the shadow realm.
Not even Lucifer Morningstar himself watched Madam Web.
Y'all, it's amazing. This whole thing's amazing. Come on, everybody.
I really have no expectations for this, to be perfectly honest.
I don't either.
Wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about Kraven the Hunter, right? Kraven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just joined this call mentally. Like I had to clock back in. I was listening to Noah's sermon.
Lock the fuck in. We're talking Kraven.
We're talking Morbius.
You're not
We're
talking Morbius.
Kraven. All right, everybody. We're talking Kraven.
Lock in, guys. Lock in.
I guess we could do a similar structure to the way that we did it the last time that one of these happened, Venom: The Last Dance. We're going to probably, I guess, give our predictions and kind of talk about the history of this movie. And then we'll break. And when we return from the break, we'll have hopefully all seen the movie. This is like a very insanely quick turnaround. Some of us are going to be seeing this on Thursday. At the time of recording, we're recording this on a Monday, the 9th. Some of us might be seeing it on the 12th. Some of us might be seeing this on the Saturday.
My tickets are already pre-ordered. I'm too deep to quit now.
I'm seeing it on Thursday myself. So if this episode comes out on Sunday, it's very possible that we'll all be quite sleep deprived in the second half of this recording.
Why don't we go through what we know about this movie, given what's been released?
Okay.
When they first announced Kraven, what were your initial thoughts? Like, obviously, like there's been a lot of weird ideas just thrown out that where we just got a title reveal and then never like crickets right after.
My thought was this movie's never coming out.
And
Well-
here we are.
That part of it's been covered. So, what was your second thought?
My thought was, boy, I hope they cast somebody that looks like Kraven.
Well, that's already been settled. What was your third thought?
And I hope they get Russell Crowe, my favorite gladiator.
I can't believe you clocked that one so easily.
Yeah,
That's
I was
impressive.
really proud of myself for that one.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was wrong on one of them or two.
That's 1 out of 3 for you, Peyton. But the one that you
Damn.
guessed, impressive.
I got a fun fact about Russell Crowe being in this movie, by the way.
What's that?
And it was actually really interesting because they did there was an article release where they kind of talked about like a certain scene that was in the first trailer where Russell Crowe and Kraven are kind of talking. I don't remember what Kraven's dad's name is supposed to be in this movie,
Raven off.
but like the first name, I don't know.
I can't remember. It's like the same. I think it's
But,
Sergei Kravinoff as well.
Sergey, okay,
I think it's
Sergey and I don't
Senior.
even know. Sergey Senior. The two of them are eating dinner, right? And according to the article, they're having what's known as blue steak, which is like a rare delicacy that they.
freaking nasty.
It's like a very rare delicacy. It's served. It's very hard to get perfect, but
Jarrett,
it's
how
like
dare you?
it actually has like a blue exterior to the outside,
Jarrett.
and it's just pink in the middle. And
Jarrett,
they
how
had to
dare you?
harvest this in
Jarrett.
the scene
Jarrett.
right prior.
Jarrett.
Oh no!
Hence the working title for this movie, Blue Harvest.
No! Oh my god!
You thought you could do it. You thought you could pull.
Oh my
one
god!
over
He got me
Jarrett.
though.
Fuck
You
you
got
both.
me.
You got Peyton. You didn't get me.
fucking prick.
As soon as you said the word blue, I knew.
No, dude, I was 100% like believing because blue steak is like freaking disgusting, and so my brain was all set on it's disgusting that they would eat that, and then he continued, "No, no."
I got you back.
Look back on the recording. My first "How dare you" will show you that I understood. You
You
spoke
caught
to me
on.
in that moment. I caught on, and you spoke to me.
You are evil.
Peyton, you've been got, and mic drop.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
So Jarrett's been got. Peyton's been got. I won't be. You can't get me.
What's most likely going to happen is I'm going to get got every time and be pissed about it. And then occasionally, like I can't do it every time because then Peyton will expect it. He'll be like, all right, where's the blue fucking harvest bit?
For real. Oh gosh.
We've
Oh,
spent
gosh.
so little time discussing Kraven.
Anyway, okay. I've got notes here. You guys only saw like one trailer in the theater
Yeah.
for Venom Last Dance. I went through all the trailers. I went through the first 8 minutes. I know Peyton refuses to see the first 8 minutes that they put out.
I'm not watching the first 8 minutes.
We're gonna watch all 90 here in a
Can
few
you
days.
explain who is Kraven?
You want me to explain who Kraven is? Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah, who is this dork?
He's got some leopard prints and a spear.
I mean, in the comics, he's just supposed to be a really good hunter. Like, he seeks out the best game and he proves himself to be like the strongest hunter in the world. This movie seems to be taking more of a like he's one with the animals, or like he can like mimic their senses.
So he's hunting the poachers.
He's not even poachers really. He hunts bad people
So he's hunting the bad guys.
basically.
Can you explain Kraven the Hunter and the musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
Is he even in that?
Yeah.
He's got a lion mouth
And
Never seen that.
on his chest.
there's a line in I think it was on David Letterman or something. There's a line during like the showing where Green Goblin says something like, "And he does much more than just loves animals." It's like it was like, what? Green Goblin? You let this guy on your team? You let him on the
Anyway.
same playing field?
And that's something that I actually wanted to bring up with the animal senses, because I'm curious. I'm gonna bring this up, and I'm curious what you guys think. In the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, Kraven starts out with just being like a really good hunter, and once Spider-Man beats him once or twice, he realizes he cannot be like the superior hunter without getting like a leg up and having like animal senses like Spider-Man does. And so he like has himself experimented on and turns into a literal lion man.
I've never seen this before. I didn't get far watching Spectacular Spider-Man. I had no clue about this. I had to Google it.
Show you guys a like yeah, but it's like he's a lion man wearing a lion coat, and he's got a mustache and beard and big
In
like
the
mane hair.
jungle, the
This
mighty
is ridiculous.
jungle.
But anyway, I'm curious how much they're clearly taking some inspiration from that, because he has a very specific connection to lions seemingly from the trailers. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how far they go with that connection. I doubt he's going to become a lion man,
He looks
but
like he's in the Thundercats.
yeah, it's weird. I wouldn't put it past Sony to fully go that route, but
I mean,
I'd like to assume they won't. But we shall see.
yeah. There's a potion that he takes, apparently. It's made from various unnamed jungle herbs, according to the Wikipedia page, that gives him physical abilities and enhances his sight, hearing, and smell to superhuman levels, adding to his already impressive tracking skills. So, I wonder if they'll introduce this mysterious potion. Who are they gonna have in this too? Clea? Isn't Clea supposed to
I
be
was
in
gonna
this?
say Clea is supposed to be like a witch or like magic person of some kind. Maybe she makes some sort of like elixir to make him like more in tune with
Oh,
the earth and the
Calypso.
animals or
It's
something.
Calypso, not
Yeah,
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 Clea.
excuse me.
Clea is with Doctor Strange. Calypso, I think, is actually, at least in some contexts, Craven's wife or lover or something. And
Hmm.
that's how you get his daughter. I don't have her name right now.
Also, Russell Crowe's character is named Nikolai Kravinoff.
I liked Sergei Sr. better, personally.
Sergey Senior.
Anna Kravinoff, the daughter of Kraven the Hunter, Anna Kravinoff.
Jolly old Saint Nikolai.
Will we see Anna Kravinoff
I
in this?
doubt it. I'm assuming that Calypso is going to be the love interest of the movie.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, then I highly doubt that their relationship is going to progress to the point that they have a daughter by the end.
I doubt it.
Hmm.
This is just the first movie, or this is just
Yeah.
like an intro film. Not that we're getting sequels to this.
Yeah, I was about to say. You think that this movie's gonna be that successful?
We might give it sequels.
Do we think that we're gonna get a Mrs. Chen cameo?
Nah, we didn't
I'm
get
gonna
one
say
in
no.
Morbius
Yeah.
or Madam Web, but some people say that one's in a different universe entirely, but not in ours. Damn it!
Yeah, baby.
The only movie where she's cameoed outside of Venom has been Across the Spider-Verse. And that one just came out of nowhere. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think she's going to be the Coulson of this series. That could be really funny though.
We shall see.
I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Parker had a random, not de-aged Mrs. Chen cameo for some reason.
Because
That's
she's
true.
43.
I brought it up in the episode. I was like, she looks 83. I was like, are we not de-aging her? And you're like,
She's
no.
40. She said that she's 40 in Venom 2.
I call bullshit.
Thus, she's like maybe 30 something.
Jarrett, that's rude.
That's so rude.
That's so rude, Jarrett.
That is so mean.
She's
Listen,
a
man.
beautiful woman.
She's amazing. And her heart is made of gold. Why would you say something like
Her
this?
heart is made of gold. She is young in spirit.
And did you see her dance? It was the last dance of the whole freaking movie.
Peggy Lou, the actress, is 61.
Yeah, but she's young for her age in the movie of of of
She was famously in 2002's Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Nice.
Nice. See? She's
I like-
she's wonderful. She can do a lot of things. She'll be in the next Sony Spider-Man movie, like this one, Kraven the Hunter.
Like to have the post-credit scene of this movie be Mrs. Chen going up to Kraven in like prison or something, or he's like sitting at the throne of the Kravenoff Manor. She's like, Kraven, I'm putting together a team.
That would be so dope. That would be so dope.
I want Mrs. Chen to be the Nick Fury, is what I'm saying.
It would mess up all of our plans.
It would mess up every single one of our plans, but I would have them not messed up by anyone else other than Mrs. Chen.
I agree.
Honestly, I think it'd be so funny if this movie, of all movies, is the one that derails the plans.
It would be really funny, because The Last Dance, for all of its insanity, it really didn't all that much.
Yeah.
We were so worried about Last Dance, and it turned out to be a nothing burger as far as like future implications.
Yeah,
And
honestly.
then the one that we're least worried about is the one where we're gonna see like there's Spider-Man and it's Tom Holland. We're like, fuck.
Hey everyone! And it's like, oh my god, it's his voice.
So this is the one.
Do we think we'll see Milo return?
No.
Oh.
No.
Do we think that we'll see
I
Michael
doubt it.
Morbius?
God, I would love it, but I hope not.
I
have plans.
One can only hope that Morbius shows up.
Ezekiel Sims?
No, he's dead, I think.
That is true, he is dead. And this was like a little Wordle quiz for you. Uncredited infant playing Peter Parker. Anyway, so do we... Genuine question. Do we actually think that this is gonna succeed? Like, we're kind of shooting the shit. Do we think that this is gonna succeed as a movie?
No, I don't think so.
This movie has had less of a reaction than anything thus far in the Sony movies. Maybe the only thing that has matched this level of is like maybe the first Venom, and that's because everybody was like, why is this even a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was like, but it's not connected, who cares? And it came out and it was fun. Morbius got a lot of like, what in the hell, why? And then it came out and everybody blew their load and was like, re-release it, more $1 billion, all that. We're gonna morb all over the place.
Yeah.
And Madam Web just made people mad.
Yeah.
I've not seen anger. I've not seen like fake hype. I've not even seen like jokes made.
That's the thing, isn't it? I actually ended up seeing a lot more than I expected about Venom 3.
Yeah.
Ended up coming out. It seems like, at least for just kind of regular people, they felt like they had a good time with it, and it ended the story well. At least from my own, like, Instagram page, where I posted, like, a piece of art from The Last Dance. There was a surprising amount of people who ended up commenting tearful emojis and salutes to Venom. That surprised me.
Here's to the ones that we got.
Yeah, playing a lot of Maroon 5. But I have heard and seen nobody say anything about Kraven so far.
Potential sleeper hit, maybe.
I really doubt it, because what it's coming out in the middle of is you're having Wicked, which is still doing very well. You have Moana, which is also doing very well. And I feel like that's going to take the rest of the box office for a bit.
This is coming out the same day as the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim.
I don't see that doing very well, even though I actually am very interested in that movie.
I am as well. I'm curious to see what takes number one.
I don't like Lord of the Rings. I don't like Lord of the Rings at all.
Thanks, Peyton. But the other thing there is that next week we have both Mufasa and Sonic 3 coming out. And I see Kraven being buried pretty quickly, unless it is
100%.
some incredible movie that completely turns everything for Sony around.
Unless this gets the crazy, like, well, even the crazy, like, post-release push for Morbius didn't, like, make it money. It just, like, made it more of a joke.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So, like,
The push, it has to be because that this movie is actually really, really good. I don't see this doing well because we've already had the Morbius joke. There's a possibility that it is dumb enough to release a movie again, even after the internet tricked it with Morbius. But I really don't see this doing well unless it is just an incredibly quality film. An incredible quality film.
the biggest joke that we could tell at this point is, hey, Kraven is actually a good movie.
Yeah. What if Kraven?
We've laughed with it, we've laughed at it, and then we've called it what it is. Now the only thing that would make this movie, like, actually culturally significant is if it's actually somewhat of quality.
What if Kraven is the first of the Sony movies to be certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes?
I pray not, because then they'll get it in their heads that they should keep going.
But
Yeah.
only with Kraven sequels.
Kraven trilogy, baby.
Kraven the Hunter 2, Kraven a Good Time. Kraven a Good Time. Kraven a Good Time.
I'm a
Shooting
Kraven star. Kraven in the sky.
Like a hunter.
I
no.
Kill cute animals because I support good nature.
That'd be insane if there was like a musical scene for just a little bit.
Do you think this is gonna have a dance scene?
No, I'm actually maybe. I think it's going to be kind
I
of
could see
akin
Russell Crowe
to
doing one.
Yeah, either Russell Crowe or Taylor Johnson might do something with Calypso. That's like Jarrett's going to be watching it and he's going to be like, "Damn it, they took my thing from Doc Ock," and he's going to be very upset.
I'd like to think, if I had to guess, I could easily see one being put in there, and it would be like some moment where, like, he and Calypso are just like slow dancing in like a quiet moment,
See that?
like briefly. But it's not. It wouldn't be like some big scene. It wouldn't be like Madam Web or Morbius in like how it's presented. It would be, if anything, it would be something much smaller. But this may very well be the first Sony movie since the original Venom to break the dance sequence trend.
I'd be so devastated.
I hope it doesn't.
I would be so sad if there was no dance scene in this movie. Unironically, we've built this culture now of all of these tropes that come up in the Sony movies, and it's kind of broken my brain a little bit, where now I watch them and I expect to see the Sony moments. And I don't think anybody else has this problem watching these movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this with my girlfriend. It's gonna end. There's gonna be no Kraven dance scene. She's gonna look over at me, and I'm gonna be sobbing in my seat. Like, what's wrong? I was like, there was no dance.
They forgot the dance scene. Just in the middle of like slow tears.
Oh, the misery.
Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Yeah, do we think what kind of music soundtrack are we looking at here though? It's a kind
Non-existent.
non-existent.
I'm getting generic action movie vibes, so I'm guessing, like, if anything, it'll be like a great, like a Walmart brand John Wick.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get like a dun 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 dun?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You mean a score?
Somewhat, but then
Yes.
like in terms of like other music, do you think that when we like we'll transition from that into like some sort of different language rap music or something?
Possible. Unironically, I could see this movie including like Imagine Dragons. You were singing Enemy, And for some reason, that gives me the exact vibe of this movie.
Yeah, it does. Do you think after this movie comes out, will we see like some little music videos made by fans using like scenes between Johnson and
Fan cams?
yeah, like some fan cams. Back in my day, we used to call them AMVs, anime music videos. Now everybody started saying fan cams. Grow up.
I hate
Anyways,
you.
do you think we'll see some fan cams involving Johnson? Like I kind of wonder how much of this is going to be carried by Community, because this is a movie that does not look good. It could easily be another Morbius type of situation, but Sony has faith in this. December is a good month for good movies. Sony is putting in a lot of money and banking on the idea that this is going to be like one of the more successful things this month.
They are.
You think so?
Yeah.
One of-
Why would you release it in December? It's like November and December are the 2 months that are like prime time for blockbuster movies.
I don't know. I feel like we got a bigger marketing push for Venom Last Dance back in October.
We absolutely
Like,
did.
there was-
We did, definitely, for sure. But it's just statistically, this is a month for the movies that people like the companies expect to be blockbusters. That's why we got Wicked earlier.
Yeah. And one of the benefits with Venom, I think, is that it felt like Venom was the only thing that was during that time. So it kind of cornered the market on the movies, which helped it to succeed at least a little bit. Peyton's kind of got a point where December releases, they usually try to do a lot because this is Christmas time. Everybody's getting out of school. People are looking for stuff to do with their kids. People are just looking for ways to pass the time until Christmas. And so movies get really popular. I don't know if Kraven really fits that, though. But one of the funniest interviews that I saw was one of the actually the director of Kraven saying, please don't look at all of the rest of the movies in the Sony series. Kraven's good, guys. Give it a chance, please.
Did he really?
Yes.
What?
He literally said, please see my movie.
No way.
Which, by the way, the director is name is J.C. Chandor. I've never heard of this guy, and I don't know of anything he's directed in the past.
The filmmaker explains, people have got to give us a chance and come out and support this film and literally try to wash away some of the other stuff that's happened.
Oh my god.
He then elaborates, and I think they'll realize that what we've done we've done everything we can to give them a pretty fun story.
What?
That is a real quote from director J.C. Chandor, which, frankly, I respect him for keeping it real.
That's amazing. He directed A Most Violent Year, which I believe I've seen. It's pretty good. I remember that.
This dude is literally begging. He's on his hands and knees going, please, I know Madam Web came out. I know Venom 3 came out. I tried to make it as good as I could, man.
Guys, please. We're doing our best here.
It's interesting. Madam Web, the directors for Madam Web were very similar. They came out pretty there was not a lot of marketing for Madam Web in comparison to Venom 3 either, but there was a decent amount, and the directors were consistently talking about how they were like trying their best to tell a really good story, and they were trying to like focus in on these characters. And then the movie came out, and you could tell that it had been cut to shit, and the directors went crickets.
Yeah.
I'm curious if they don't see the final cut of the movie until everybody else does.
I don't know.
I have half a mind to think that the director turns in the final cut thinking, okay, I made it the best I could. I'm happy with what I've made. And then Sony cuts more, and then when it comes out, it's unrecognizable even to the director.
That's what just makes me so depressed about these sometimes, where I feel so bad for some of these directors, because I'm sure that they have very quality movies in them, but as soon as your name is attached to a Madam Web, you are going to be stuck there for a very long time.
They will never eat lunch in this town again.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that edited Kraven the Hunter, I know this isn't helpful because I don't know how much an editor. I mean, an editor ultimately is like one of the last people that gets their hands on the cut.
Sure.
He also has edited like Curse of the Black Pearl, Guardians of the
Okay.
Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Eternals. Nobody saw this, but Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. I remember when that movie came out, I was watching the local news, and the guy, like the broadcaster, was like, "Maleficent releases today."
Nice.
And I was like, "Maleficent, Maleficent." Anyways, I digress. I think that his editing bibliography is pretty nice.
Okay. Cool.
So maybe we got to assume that this is the best cut that we could possibly get. That is to say, if the movie is bad, I will immediately be hopping onto our joint Twitter account and saying release the Chandor cut. And then people will think I'm talking about Ghostbusters. So I'm gonna have to probably specify in
Probably.
a secondary tweet.
JC, if you're listening to this, buddy, we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
JC Chandor, we extend a personal invitation to, if this movie does not do well, and if you're like, oh man, they cut my movie down to I don't even recognize it, you are welcome to come on to Has to Do with Spider-Man, I think, and pitch the your version
The
of
real
Kraven,
Kraven the Hunter.
the real Kraven for our series, and that will be the canon version of Kraven that we stick with for this series. Can I get can I get an amen, guys?
Amen.
There we go.
Do you guys know there are other characters in this movie too?
Is there?
Who?
Yeah, there's Did you know Kraven had a brother? Has a brother?
Hey, he's the lizard, right?
Hello, my name is
chameleon.
John Kraven.
That's a lizard.
Yeah, that is a lizard. John Kravinoff is playing a lizard. The chameleon.
So yeah, we've got the chameleon. Interestingly, the first villain that Spider-Man ever faced.
Really?
Yeah. Chameleon was the first supervillain that Spider-Man fought.
Cool.
Yeah.
I forgot about this.
One other big guy is showing up too. The Rhino.
He looks so bad. He looks genuinely bad. I don't understand why do they keep insisting we've now had 2 depictions of the Rhino, and both times they just won't put this guy in a stupid ass suit that makes his head look like a damn square. They just refuse to do this, and then they also won't give him a tragic backstory. Why does he have to Hulk out into a rhino? And he looks so bad. He looks genuinely awful. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about the rhino appearing. I'm worried that if they kill him, we can't go and develop him more. Or maybe if they kill him, we can just develop a new one. But then people are gonna call us trite. Please don't call us trite.
I don't know if we're gonna be called trite, Peyton.
Oh God.
Peyton, calm down.
And Zachary Levi's gonna be a dad. I just heard about this. No.
Peyton, calm down. We aren't gonna be trite. We are not trite.
Okay, alright. Alright, I'm calm.
Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. It's not has to do with Spider-Man, I trite.
I trite. Me
I
trite.
hate you both. What I was gonna ask about Chameleon, if we think we're actually gonna see his brother become the chameleon in this movie. Do you think we're gonna see him do some spy work? Is he gonna actually do chameleon stuff, or is he just gonna be Kraven's brother who is also there?
They can't afford the animation like they did in Civil War in Winter Soldier on those face disguise tech. I don't think they can afford to do that.
Maybe.
No. The one thing that I will say is that the movies up to this point are shot pretty well. It's not groundbreaking, but there's some decent cinematography in each of these.
You're right.
Sony movies in the past.
They're really fun to look at. My hot take is I believe it's because these are somewhat supposed to be movies that are meant to be just put on a loop in a Walmart or a Target. on Sony TVs.
That
So
would make a lot of sense.
you
Yep.
walk past it and you go, oh, look at how the TV is handling that fidelity. You could like see all this stuff and like
I can very clearly see that gray CGI blob rhino
yeah,
Yeah.
charge at a truck.
yeah. I need
I
to buy
wish I
this
couldn't,
TV.
but I can.
I'm gonna buy this TV now.
I'm gonna buy this TV so I can turn this off.
We're just gonna turn it off in the store and walk away.
What did you think the story was going to be about?
I about the same as I think now. Really all we've seen, like, as far as plot and story, is just he's clearly like at odds with his father and his brother, and he seems to be going after like poachers or like traffickers or something like that. He's just able to sense them and track them and be able to find them faster, I guess.
Okay.
But as far as like the plot of the film, it's really it's kind of hard to gauge. I don't know. I'm expecting it to be just kind of truthfully, I'm expecting it to be kind of generic.
Yeah.
Just feel like an action movie where you see some decent fights. Save for the fact that this is R-rated and you can tell in the 8 minutes and the trailers.
Okay.
Like blood is flying. I believe Kraven in one of the trailers pulled a Mike Tyson and bit an ear off, and like the piece flies at the screen with blood. I was like, oh, goody.
I feel like when I saw that trailer, I feel like I saw that and there was a really bad after effect. Like it's like of the blood spattering off the dude's ear, it looks so fake.
It's
Like,
definitely CG blood, unfortunately.
yeah.
Which just goes to show that they could have done this with any of the movies to this point and just didn't.
They could have gotten, you know how in the Spider-Man 3 they got like an amputee to play Sandman for a specific moment or play Spider-Man for a specific moment, I can't quite remember. But like one of them is getting punched and the arm goes completely into Sandman's body.
Oh, yep.
And that was like an amputee. They just should have gotten a guy without an ear. Like to put on a prosthetic ear and then like have it be ripped off by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
But that would cost money, and we don't want to spend that on movies.
I guess that's true. But Sony used to have dignity.
That's true.
You hear that?
Hey,
I'm calling you out, Sony. I got you
They've-
for 3 minutes.
They've not had dignity for almost 20 years.
20 years,
This time,
Sony.
10 or 12 years ago, they were making Smurfs movies, so I don't know if they ever had it.
When are we gonna have our movie that's kind of like the Smurf, in that genre of Smurf, Sonic the Hedgehog, where it's like CGI creature hanging out with human guy? Like,
That's for our rec rap pitch.
Oh, no.
let's go, baby.
But for that episode,
Cut his mic.
our title is going to be has to do with Nas Rip Ips. Rep
Take your
Ips.
time.
What are
Nas
you
Rep
saying?
Ips. Has to do with Nas Rep Ips.
What?
Wait, no, Nam Rep Ips. What am I doing? What is Spider-Man backwards?
Why are you even attempting?
Oh my god, he was trying to say Spider-Man backwards because Wreck Rabbit's Parker backwards. Oh my god. Dude.
Guys, if you can't tell, we're not very thrilled about anything that has been
Yeah.
shown about this movie.
So bad. I'm sorry, this is the most filler episode ever.
We're going on some tangents here.
If it's not already clear by Noah not being able to spell, Peyton being delirious, and me struggling to come up with anything to talk about, even after having seen everything they've shown us.
My justification is that I am in the middle of finals week, and my brain power has been going to the 5 classes that I need to be finishing. So coming in to record an episode about a movie that I know nothing about leads to me riffing and trying to spell things backward. And I am not good at either of those things. So that's where we are at.
My coworker asked why I didn't get a press pass for this movie. As though I qualified at all
Your
for.
coworker's got a good point, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we
have 10
guys, we
subscribers.
have.
We deserve press passes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had 5 ratings, and shout out to the one person that commented saying that they liked the Blue Harvest joke. We hope that you were satisfied with this most recent one. We love you.
I
Thank
was
you.
gonna say we have at least as much justification to receive press passes as James and Meso does.
Yes. Agreed.
Do they ever?
Yeah, they receive them all
Yeah,
the time, dude.
they never do anything with them because they don't want to go.
Do we want to go over just final expectations and just overall thoughts leading into actually going to see this movie?
I think so. I expect it to be similar to what you're saying, pretty generic, honestly. I don't know how you can make a Kraven the Hunter movie and have it be him not really hunting. It's strange. And it's very Sony in that way. I would love this to be a great movie. I would love this to succeed. I would love it to be one of the like a good way to close out the year because frankly, I need a win when it comes to seeing movies in theaters. I've been on a streak.
No, the streak's gonna only be worse, man. I'm sorry.
I've been on a streak. I have seen in theaters. My streak has been Venom: The Last Dance, Krampus, and Moana 2. All 3 of those movies were just not great, and I want to make sure that my money is going to something that I actually care about.
You saw Krampus in the theater?
They were re-releasing it for the end of the spooky season going into Christmas season, and I think it was like a free admission watch too.
Okay.
So I didn't spend money on Krampus, which I was proud of.
I would say you got your money's worth then, being 0.
Yeah.
Peyton, what do you think?
About this movie, if I think this movie will be good.
What are your expectations going in? We're gonna see it in 3 days, you and me.
Immediately, my cat just came downstairs and started meowing. What's your opinion on Kraven?
It was off the juice.
Yeah, Luke is off the juice. He's pissed. So I think me and my cat, we're both expecting the movie to probably have one post-credit scene that will either hint towards a sequel that won't happen, or possibly give us another glimpse at Spider-Man. Kind of akin to the Far From Home Venom 2 thing that happened. I think that that's probably something that could occur. I'm not sure what. I think that this is going to be really standalone and very trite and insist upon itself and be quite derivative. I'm very not pleased that I have to see this in theaters. My girlfriend's excited. She thinks that Aaron Taylor Johnson's very handsome.
I think so
So,
too. It's a hot man.
I mean, I agree. 3. I think that he's a very handsome guy. So
I mean, y'all know that I love Bullet Train.
yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's big part of why I love that movie. That's why I had David Leitch direct El Muerto in the first place, was because of Bullet Train, a movie that Aaron Taylor Johnson is in. So I want it to be good for him as well, because I like him as an actor.
I'd just be very surprised if this is any good. I think what's going to stand out the most is the cinematography and Johnson's acting, and I'm sure that Russell Crowe is not going to phone this shit in.
He never does.
He never does. So I think that those are going to be like the 3 standout performances in this movie, or the 2 standout performances. I'm very intrigued at Calypso. I'm excited to see her hit the big screen. I'm very unsure. I don't know, man. I'm very unsure about this whole scenario. I don't know.
This will be such a great way to close out the holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm kind of don't know how to feel about this either. It's one of those movies where it's like it doesn't look inherently like awful. Like it's not a movie where you just look at it and you're like, that's an awful movie. That's gonna be so bad. But it's also not one that gives me any sort of like interest. Like it doesn't grab me in any way.
That's the thing. Of all of these movies, it feels the most generic, possibly. Where you had Venom, and those movies, for being dumb for not including Spider-Man and like not connecting it to Spider-Man, everybody kind of got it. They were like, okay, I can see why they would make a Venom movie. Venom's pretty popular. And so he was making like there you could see something there. Some interest could be gained just for the fact that it's Venom.
Hmm.
For Morbius and Madam Web, what they had is the fact that nobody would want or think to need a Morbius or Madam Web movie. And so part of the interest that came from that was just the question of what are they even doing? Why is this a thing that exists? Kraven is in this weird middle ground where of all of the Spider-Man villains, he's one that you see him on the movie poster and you're like, I guess. Like, that makes some sense to have Kraven have his own movie. Then at the same time, when it doesn't include Spider-Man, especially with Kraven's biggest story being Kraven's Last Hunt, which is very directly tied to Spider-Man, because it's all about their relationship coming to a head, you just question why it exists, but not in the fun way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Venom made sense, even though it wasn't really like you said, no Spider-Man. And then the other movies that have come out has just been like, what are they even going to try to do with this? Just because they were such off-the-wall concepts. Same with like when they would announce like Hypno Hustler, or when they announced El Muerto. It's like, what on earth do you plan to do with this? Kraven is one that is begging to prove its worth, because you can look at it and be like, I can see where you could make a story here, but nothing I've seen tells me that they have one. I can tell that you could tell a story with this character, but I'm not seeing one here. So it's like, it's desperately and the director also is like only heightening this. It's like, it's desperately praying for people to take it openly and just like give it a chance, but I'm not seeing anything that makes it warrant that chance.
If this film flops, they're gonna go, well, it's the director's fault. It's this thing's fault. When it's like, the idea is at fault. There's a fundamental problem with the concept of making a Kraven movie without Spider-Man. More so than there is a fundamental problem of making a Venom movie without Spider-Man. I think that, like you said, Jarrett, it's fighting to have a chance.
Of all of these movies, it really does feel like Kraven is the one that is trying to prove that it matters the most. Morbius didn't need to matter. Madam Web was dead in the water. Kraven feels like something that it could be quality, but it could also be absolute garbage. And because it's the toss-up, I don't know if it's going to get the chance that it might deserve. But again, who knows if it does?
We have no reason to believe that it does, but given what we've been shown. And that's what bothers me the most.
It is so funny.
If you could convince me, maybe, I say this as somebody who's already pre-ordered their tickets. That's not what I'm saying. A regular audience member, I feel, could be convinced. If I wasn't doing this podcast, I could be convinced if the trailers showed me something more interesting. Because the character seems interesting. I recognize them. I have like some level of like interest in them, despite the fact that the reason for that interest is not present. But I would still be willing to sit down and be like, okay, show me something cool. I have no reason to believe that they're going to show me something cool, given what we've been shown in the marketing. And that's what's just so frustrating.
It's so funny that we run this podcast.
We have no qualifications to be the ones that spearhead a project like this.
This entire episode has been us going, why are we watching this movie?
It's like, do we have to go to the theater in 2 days? It's like...
It feels like this entire episode has been trying to hype each other up so that we actually feel like we're getting our money's worth. We have created a hell for ourselves that we cannot escape.
We're gonna hop into the call. Like, we're gonna return after we see this movie, and like, I got this feeling that it'll be at least like 15 seconds of silence before one of us decides to speak. and say something. Just because it's
Well,
like
we saw Kraven.
it's
Guys,
so craven.
Are we just masochists?
I don't know, man. I mean, we've
I
made some
think-
pretty good
okay.
pitches though.
This is what bothers me, and it's the reason that I threw out this idea for the podcast in the first place. When I was going to see Madam Web, I went to go see a Madam Web as a it was a fluke. I went to go see it out of like I want to watch the train wreck happen. I need a front row seat to the train wreck. But it was the whole impetus for the podcast was knowing that the concept of this world without Spider-Man just existing on its own does have legs. I could see it working. And the fact that it's struggling so hard and everybody is saying, well, you don't have Spider-Man, so obviously it's bad. It's like, no, I can see how it could if it was done better.
And we've
And
proven that.
watching these movies fall on their face again and again and again is frustrating.
We've proven through this series, which, to be clear, I do not regret starting because this has been some of the most fun that I have had writing this year, is just coming up with justifications to make sure that these characters can matter, and proving that with the right direction and the right story, you can make any of them interesting characters that are just fun to enjoy. Shout out my buddy Prentice. He gave us this quick review after the El Muerto pitch. He said, went from thinking this was the stupidest idea Sony had yet for a movie to wanting to actually see it. It is incredibly possible that any of these movies could be like that. By the way, thank you, Prentice. That was a very nice review. If you allow the creatives behind it to be people who are willing to look into the character, to look into the history, to look into the kinds of movies that this could be, you could have a very solid product.
Mm-hmm.
Because these characters don't exist in a vacuum. One of the first things I did when it came to justifying the existence of El Muerto was connecting him to what kind of character he is. He's a luchador wrestler. So his big thing is contest fighting. Are there movies that are about contest fighting, or are there stories that are about contest fighting? And that brought me to Fight Club, obviously, but it brought me to a concept of a tournament, like a tournament fight movie, something like Mortal Kombat, something like, again, the Lego Ninjago Tournament of Elements.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have this cast of characters that comes together that are forced to fight for some reason. And so you can pull from those genre tropes to create a story that is befitting of this character. For Kraven, as a hunter film,
Most Dangerous Game.
you could pull from Most Dangerous Game. You could pull from something like Tarzan, even. As this like wild man who's living in the jungle and growing up in this jungle world, something like that. There are ways to make these movies work and these characters work apart from Spider-Man if you were pulling from what separates them from other characters. But they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Venom succeeds kind of, because it is kind of pulling in its own way, where it's got the buddy cop thing going on that is specifically different from any of the other movies in the SPUMM. And it has its own just really strange way of doing the buddy cop that makes those movies unique. Even when the quality kind of jumps up and down. But at the very most, Venom is unique.
Right.
If anything, seeing these movies do badly almost makes me more excited about doing this podcast, because it fills me with not like an anger, but like a conviction,
A determination.
a determination. It's just, I know that this can work. I'm going to make it work. We are going to make it work because we know that the that the premise has legs here. And watching these movies fail is just fueling that because I'm like, that's what not to do. How do we do it? Go forward.
We can
Mhm.
turn this failed version of Kraven, which I'm assuming is going to be what happens, into a character that people can root for and cheer for over the course of this series. And you're right, that concept makes me very excited.
I'm very intrigued at how we'll take any of the ideas from this that work and try to maybe fit it into perhaps a potential sequel in phase 2, or like a sequel in a different phase, or some sort of follow-up in a different movie pitch. I'm that's what I'm intrigued about too with this. But yeah, no, I completely agree that the best way that they could have handled any of these would be to make it like a genre film. And I think too of like lately there's been a lot of good movies that are these sort of revenge movies. So like John Wick, Nobody, Monkey Man was really good.
Yeah, Monkey Man.
And I think that maybe Craven could have like worked in a similar way like that, where perhaps like a character that he's really close to dies, such as his brother or whatever, early on, and his hunting is going on a warpath of people that are very similar in nature to him. And so his hunting is similar to the Most Dangerous Game and stuff like that, where he's like, I have to navigate through this jungle and I have to hunt everything down to put us like to make sure that this doesn't continue. Like whatever he uncovers. And maybe that's what we're gonna see in this movie. But I think that they just should have really made these things into genre films. And I think with movies like Hypno Hustler, like that was pitched and it was gonna be directed by Donald Glover, and I think played by him or something along those lines. But I think that like that idea could have worked if we actually got to know more about it.
Sony just needs to figure out what makes their characters different and make their movies based on that. And not just pulling from the Spider-Man toy box and saying, okay, so the next one that we got, let's rifle around in there for a bit. Ooh, it's a Kraven action figure. Let's just put him in the next one, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we got a lot more passionate about what we were talking about as soon as we realized we were allowed to say how much we really did not want to watch this
Yeah.
movie.
We were really struggling to come up with something, and once we finally got it out in the open air that like this looks bad and I don't want to go see it, but I have to because of the commitment, is when it reminded me of why we're doing this, and I'm excited not to see the movie, but to continue with this after having seen the movie.
Exactly.
The movie is a speed bump on the road to creative success.
These
Yeah.
movies are unfortunate obligations that we have committed ourselves to uh, in the motivation of creating verses. And part of the challenge is incorporating as much of these insane movies as possible.
And with that, I think that's a good spot to break.
Mm-hmm.
So once you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have seen Kraven the Hunter, for better or worse. We'll discuss it. We'll go about discussing what we liked, what we didn't like, probably a lot of what we didn't like if what we've seen so far is to be believed.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of go forward from there and figure out how it ties into our project going forward. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back shortly. Hey everyone, this is Jarrett, live from the editing bay. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up that from this point forward, we have now seen Kraven the Hunter. We're going to have a few minutes where we each kind of give our spoiler-free thoughts, and then they will make a note when we start delving into spoilers. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh,
Well, we saw Kraven.
yeah.
How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling better, not at all related to this movie, but simply because I finished finals. And I no longer have personal problem that I was dealing with when we were recording on Monday.
Nice.
So I feel much mentally healthier. I feel physically healthier because I just worked out a little bit. This movie sucks.
I disagree.
I am somewhere in the middle.
I thought it was really good. I can't believe it's like this is kind of like Venom 3 where we all kind of had different views in terms of what we were thinking about
Absolutely. I am ready to discuss.
it. Yeah.
So we're gonna start with just like spoiler-free reviews from each of us, and then we'll just kind of go over as, I guess, chronologically as we can, going over spoilers and like just talking about this thing, and then we'll just kind of we'll factor it into the world at play here that we're building, and try and figure out where to go from here.
Okay.
Who wants to start? Do we want to start with like somebody who's more positive or somebody who's more? Let's start with Noah. I'm dying to
Okay.
know what your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the reason is because of how I feel this movie is put together. I think there is a good movie in here somewhere, maybe, but I don't think it is edited in the best way that really works to its favor. And that is because you front loaded it with probably what I would say is the best scene in the movie, which is the prison infiltration, which had some great action. It had some actually kind of good humor. So like a very charismatic opening for Kraven in this kind of Bond-like infiltration mission. And then middle half of this movie is very boring and doesn't do a lot of action scenes or anything to really drive the plot forward beyond lots of conversation, and doesn't really pick up again until that final fight that we have. And so I just don't think it is structured very well.
I guess since Noah was very negative, I guess a very positive review next. And by very positive, I mean 3.5 stars. Like I would probably put this at maybe like what? That's a 7?
That's
Or
a
no?
7.
Yeah, that's a 7. I thought that it was a strong 7 to a possible 8.
Whoa.
But I'm using my notes that I had from my Letterboxd review. Follow me at Peyton Fries on letterboxd.com. I talk about if a movie has Muppets or not. This kind of has like, and just using my review kind of as reference, this has a lot of like stuff taken from, I guess, some origins of Kraven, but there's also like, I've been reading The Secret Six, and that feature by Gail Simone, and that features Catman, and a lot of his background aligns a lot with the DC character of Catman, which is very, very absurd to me. But I think that this works. We get like really caught up into this is inaccurate to the comic book, and I think that what Chandor and et al. Were doing was creating something that's wholly original, and I think that they had to tack on the name Kraven the Hunter to it. This is more like Vixen. This is more like all these other superheroes. And I don't think that that's going to change any detractors' minds on this. I think that if you divorce it wholly from the Kraven movie, it's kind of a slightly boring action thriller. But I had a lot of fun with a lot of the action set pieces. I thought that each one was kind of original in what it was doing. And one of my favorite things about it is that Aaron Taylor Johnson, the way he plays Kraven, it's very animalistic. Like every movement that he does seems inspired by a certain animal. My girlfriend, when we were watching it, she leans over to me and she was like, "He's walking like a crocodile." And like I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Yeah, he is." like there's like stuff that he was doing that is very inspired by different animals and nature. I thought that was really cool. I think that the villain is lacking, and I did not like this one character named the Foreigner, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
My word.
I hated the Foreigner as a character. I thought that was like so stupid. Is he a speedster?
I
is
don't
he
know
a time
what his deal
dilator?
is.
I hated how every
We'll get
time he
into
like
him.
pause. Yeah, we'll talk
We'll
about
get
it
into the
too.
spoiler section with the foreigner.
But you don't really need to think much about it when you're watching it. Get yourself some popcorn, maybe sneak in a steak from Outback or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, that would
Blue
fit with
steak?
the animals. Yeah.
Yeah, blue steak. I didn't like the ADR. Like, I'm starting to realize that the more that I'm talking about this, it might be a more negative review. But I liked a lot of it. I thought that this was really fun. Some of my stuff is more reserved for spoilers. Some of the stuff that I really liked is more reserved for spoilers. But yeah, Jarrett, what did you think?
You know, Kraven's a lot of things. I had mixed ideas about it basically throughout the entire movie. I went in with such low expectations, as the first half can attest. I don't think any of us was expecting anything out of this, and I expected a John Wick clone, and I came out of it having gotten a little more than that. Not a lot more, with problems very clearly on the surface. Cracks are just out in the open, but it is more than I was expecting. I'm on the opposite of Peyton here. I thought the villains were super fun. I thought like I just like seeing other people with powers in this world. Like just period, instead of just here's another person with a symbiote, here's another spider person, here's another vampire. Seeing varied power sets in in the same movie together was enjoyable, which is like, I know, the bare minimum.
Yeah.
But it's the bare minimum. But the fact is, up to this point, we haven't had the bare minimum. There's very clearly ADR, all the things that you've come to know and loathe from Sony films
So
is
frustrating.
here. But I don't know. I expected nothing and I got something, which is more than I was hoping for. If I had to, I haven't rated this yet, but it's dead center for me of the 6 that have come out.
So like 2.5
6 films.
stars, probably.
Yep, about a 5 out of 10. Little subpar, but I can't bring myself to say that it's like half star, 1 star. Which, by the way, I think the article that came out saying that they're going to take a break on these for a while, like the article title said Sony versus Dead. The insider said they're going to take a break for a while and focus on Spider-Man stuff. Has completely derailed any conversation about this movie.
Yeah.
It's turned the whole thing into the final nail in the Sonyverse coffin, and it's bad. And yes, it's not good, but like, is it worse than Madam Web? Is it worse than Morbius?
It's not worse than Madam Web. You'd be hard pressed to get that bad.
It's bad, but it's not the worst of these. And so
Fair.
I can comfortably give it like a completely middle of the road score and be
What I will admit after talking, I did, like you're saying, Jared, I did kind of enjoy the fact that there were just random dudes with powers in this movie that, like, it doesn't get explained. They just kind of exist. I think that's something they should have been doing for the longest time, and just allow people to have powers and make it more comic booky, like James Gunn seems to be doing with the DCU, just adding random people all over the place. The problem there is that I don't think the character that they chose to have just a random power for no reason was particularly entertaining or inspired in any way.
Who the hell is this guy? Like, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, who the hell is this dude?
You guys want to go into spoilers?
Yeah, can we go into?
Can we please?
So the first thing with spoilers, the Foreigner's such a stupid character.
I freaking hated the Foreigner.
What do we hate about the Foreigner? I'm confused.
His every time, it's just every time he does this stupid shit.
So we talk about how we're glad to see people with powers showing up in this, and I completely agree.
Yeah, me too.
I think the more world building that you can do, and just having random people show up with random powers and power sets, that makes it fun. That makes the world feel so much bigger. El Muerto does this, because we've got all of these fighters coming in from random places. I love that trope. I don't know what the Foreigner does, and
why not?
The thing is, I don't know what his power is. He says,
He takes his glasses off. He hypnotizes.
He goes,
people.
1,
"Is that what it was?
2."
Hypnosis?"
He puts them in a trance,
was a
and then he can
speedster.
count to 3, and then it goes back to normal.
How does he do that with 4 people in a lobby?
Yeah.
Because they were all staring at him.
Does
So
he
you're
need,
telling me I
like-
could look away?
What?
I could just turn around and he couldn't do shit to me?
If he takes his glasses off and you're making eye contact, you're fucked. It's already over.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I thought he was a speedster.
I thought
He
so
did it
too.
several times in the movie. They really hammer home how it works. He takes his glasses off, they look at him, and then everything gets hazy because he's in a trance. He counts to 3, he walks around them. When they're out of the trance, it looks like he's vanished because they're like, where the fuck did he go? He turns around, they turn around, he gets shot in the face.
That makes more sense.
That makes
Now,
more sense.
it was a little bit interesting to see it from Kraven's perspective when he fought him, because from his perspective, Foreigner was just zipping around all over the place because it looked like, from his angle, that he was everywhere, when in reality, Kraven was just being frozen, and then he would unfreeze when Foreigner's somewhere else.
No, that makes sense, because he was like punching the log that was the dude's face, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, he punched him twice, and then the third time he moved.
Mm-hmm. Looking up the Foreigner on Google, all I got was the rock band. So Kelly Hansen, I'm calling you out.
Stop it.
But
I will say he looked
his
like
Wikipedia.
He looked like Great Value brand Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, he did. I don't like him. I'm glad he's
I
dead.
liked him. I
I'm
thought he
so
was
glad
cool.
that he's dead.
I'm upset that he's dead. I wanted to use him.
Really?
I liked him. I thought
Dude,
he was
I thought
cool.
you would be more pissed about Alexei being dead. Yeah, Alexei's dead.
I'm pissed
too.
about them both.
The Rhino's
Yeah,
dead.
that's fair.
I'm so mad about the Rhino. He looks
I'm upset they're
stupid.
both dead.
He looked absolutely so freaking dumb.
I
But-
like that his ears didn't have the stone shit on it, so it was just like
But-
he was hit on the ears.
I'll admit, I kind of like the performance.
Yeah,
I like the performance so much. Like, okay, in the past, I've said that I like it more when a movie with stakes can take itself seriously,
Mhm.
but know when to ham it up.
yeah.
It's not that I hate being cheesy, but when it's throughout the movie, then I can no longer feel the stakes because it's just kind of like, okay, this is all just one big joke, this whole movie.
Mhm.
It took itself very seriously, sometimes to the movie's detriment, admittedly.
Absolutely.
This man knew what kind of movie he was in, and I loved seeing him on screen. I loved it because it's still a toned down performance. It's not like super cheesy over the top. It reminded me of it wasn't to the level of Bullseye in 2003's Daredevil,
Mm.
but some of the little things that he would do. I'm like, why did you do that?
I like the part when like his henchman comes in and he goes like, "Sir, we were unable to capture Kraven,"
And then he just
screams,
sits
but he's
there out the
silently, like he's like, "Ah!"
He's part of me wonders if it was supposed to be an 80-yard like yell. Like it was supposed to be 80-yard over, but instead they either forgot it or they liked it so much, so it just looks like he's staring out the window. And he goes,
I'll be perfectly honest. I hated the Rhino, but I really liked Alexei. I hated the fact that Rhino in his design didn't pop like the bottom of his pants to get like the Hulk pants or everything. And so
Yeah.
it's just top half of a Rhino with a regular man's slacks and
He looks like
and
Mr. Hyde from
it was
LXD.
so bad. I hated that so much. But my favorite joke in the movie was when he is taking over Chorney's guys, and it's like, okay, whoever can make the best pitch, that is who I am going to take into my crew. And so he shoots the first guys, and then he's like, okay, only one of you will be able to work with me. The other guy shoots his partner, and he's like,
the
oh,
second guy.
hell of a pitch. Welcome to the
Hell of a
team.
He turns to his buddy and he's like, hell of a pitch.
Yeah,
Oh, I loved him. I wish he wasn't dead.
yeah,
We can bring him back.
yeah. Little.
Surely.
We could do a little retcon. Yeah, we could do a little retcon.
Surely.
We can do a little retcon.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did Calypso go?
I don't know.
Wait. Yeah.
She's in the hut when Kraven goes out to meet Alexei and his goons, like when they're going down the road in their trucks. And then after that, it cuts back to the club after Rhino dies. Where the fuck did Calypso go? Is she still there?
He ditched her.
Did she just go back to her office?
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, who knows? I want to talk about my biggest problem with the movie, and that's how it's edited. Like I said, I think it just gets so boring in the middle that you start to lose interest. And that's because it starts off, like I said, with probably my favorite scene in the movie. I thought the prison infiltration was really, really good. And then we spend about like 20 minutes on him as a kid growing up and getting mauled by the lion.
This shit was the worst part of the movie.
Everything there. And it takes so long to get back to present day.
It was brutal.
It's another thing that reminds me of 2003's Daredevil.
Yeah.
Where, like, again, comic book movies from 20 years ago, we would get a cool action scene, and then we would get an extended, like, 30, 40-minute flashback of, like, here's how this character became how you just saw. And then it goes right back to where we were at before.
You know what sounds bad?
I think this movie would have been tighter and better just overall if the origin was just either significantly shorter or just cut out entirely and just explained in dialogue.
Yeah, which it then gets re-explained in dialogue like 4 times.
Yeah.
But you want to know what's bad? I was reminded of the first draft of Prowlers that I had. Like I slunk in my chair. I was like, God, if I saw that in a theater, it would be freaking incomprehensible and boring.
And Peyton,
like, well, the difference between yours and this is that you had several smaller ones.
Yeah.
And you made it better, so we don't have to go back and talk about it.
This is
I
true.
thought that the editing choice for the title card was insane.
Oh my God. It's just
like
Ariel.
That was Ariel bold with crack.
He escapes from the prison. They're like, who could have done something like this? Cut to low opacity lion roaring, and then Ariel fought Kraven the Hunter.
Ariel bold with like cracks in it.
I will be completely honest. I laughed out loud when the lion showed up. I could not stop myself.
Which brings me to, this is kind of interesting. The origin is a little complicated. Okay, so it's like a combination of two things. One, he has tiger blood. He has lion's blood in his system, apparently. And two, a magic ritual potion from Calypso when she was a kid revives him essentially with enhanced strength. But also, I'm assuming the lion blood gave him the connection to the animals, and the potion gave him the enhanced strength.
The potion is
because they said that he would be revived with like insane new strength that wasn't before seen.
Right. It's like it'll help him in unexpected ways, and so I assume.
So it's like it's a combination of two things that give him his powers. Why couldn't he just get the strength and animal connection from the lion blood? I mean, I don't like that answer. I think it's really dumb, but I feel like adding in both together makes it more convoluted than it needs to be.
I think having it
puts Calypso in his origin for no reason.
Yeah. I think having it just be his lion's blood makes it, you kind of then draw connections to like
Halle Berry. Yeah, it does kind of make it Batman Returns-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think they were like, oh shit, well we need to introduce Calypso anyways, because I'll admit, I haven't read Kraven's Last Hunt. I haven't read anything involving Kraven really. But in trying to kind of like prepare for this movie, I did like research on him. And it feels like Calypso is like very much a part of Kraven, like as much a part of Kraven as like Spider-Man is a part of Kraven. And so it was kind of like they needed to find a way to bring in Calypso, but had this movie played with the character of Calypso more, it would have been, I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
I loved the ADR conversation between her and her grandmother as she's trying to explain what
it was so bad.
Dude, and then the 80-yard conversation at the funeral.
Yeah.
He turns around and he goes, like, you see the back of his head and he goes, I know why you're here. And then she's like off camera and she goes, how? And then, like, or whatever. It was something so ridiculous.
And every time they said Calypso.
Yeah. Calypso.
They never said her name in a way that that made sense.
I always think of there's this meme. It's like this kid in England, and he's drinking. She is drinking like Calypso the drink, and they're like, "It's fucking minging. This Calypso is so fucking minging," and like drops it on the floor, and like the whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, "It's fucking minging."
You have
Your girlfriend must hate you.
No,
You
she
have
knew
the
exactly
most-
what I was talking about.
you have the most insane connection points. Peyton,
As
I'd love
is
to live in your
traditional.
brain for like a
I
couple
wouldn't.
hours.
I'd go fucking nuts.
Tori knew exactly what I was talking about. She started saying it too. She was like,
Are we doxing your girlfriend on the podcast?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Although I will say, they didn't make Calypso a love interest,
I know,
Yeah,
right?
which I kind of appreciated.
Yeah, me too. I was like, good.
I was fully expecting them to have like some random moment, like when they both were in his little like jungle hideout, where they just kind of had an intimate moment for no reason and then move on. They didn't have it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I respect it.
And they gave her
Save it
agency
for a sequel
too.
that won't happen.
Yeah, they gave her hella agency. Like she
Yeah.
was able to make decisions for herself. Like, and I appreciate that they didn't make her this like damsel in distress or whatever. They could have easily fallen into some
She
kind of
murders a dude.
yeah. Can we talk about we're talking about a lot of the side characters? Chameleon and Nikolai arguably are like two of the important people in Kraven's life compared to Calypso and the others.
Yeah.
What did we think of oh shit. Brain just had a tangential thought.
Russell Crowe?
No, why the hell when he's singing in the freaking club, he starts singing these songs and he never gets to the chorus. He stops at the moment the chorus is supposed to happen.
does.
So
You were completely right.
I'm sitting there twice he's doing it, and he starts singing and then he stops. Sign of the Times, and then I forget what the other one, but he stops right as the chorus is about to begin. So I'm
It's
expecting
technically
it.
his club because
Yeah.
his dad bought it for him. So I guess he just likes to go up there and sing a little for everybody every now and then,
I'm
and
gonna do
people
a
just
little ditty.
have to clap because he owns it.
Yeah.
I love that was the justification for the needle drops in this movie, is that the chameleon is just a perfect imitation of whoever is singing.
It's ridiculous.
That was so dumb.
Speaking of music, no required dance scene. I was hella
What a
disappointed.
bunch of
Stay-
chicken shit.
Okay, so I was thinking about that while they were in the club. I was like, okay, we're in a club. We gotta have a dance. I think I've come around to that. As this is the last of the SPUMM movies, I think this is more of a sending it off, kind of giving it a slower musical presence. So just having the club singing is close enough to the court-ordered dance scene that I'm willing to accept it.
All right.
I want Kraven to hit the Gangnam Style. I don't give a shit about no slow ditty. God! There's a pressure in my head that is building, and I don't know if it's mucus, ailment, or if I'm just getting really pissed about this shit.
What the frick?
I'm losing it. I've been rapidly losing it this entire second half. Okay. Why does he have? Okay, he's doing
Holy
a really
frick.
good Russian accent. He does a great Russian accent. That beginning moment, he's doing a great Russian accent when he speaks in English for a moment, and then he just goes to his American accent, and it's like, dude, we're
And
so
then he talks like
shit.
this for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kraven the Hunter.
Why is he doing his kick-ass voice? You're fucking British, you prick. Dude, like, oh my god. Completely subverts everything we understand about what Kraven is supposed to be in terms of like an accent. Literally an accent. How many years have we had Kraven appearing in TV shows? He's in video games. He's in the Spider-Man 2. In every time he has an accent that's not like an American accent. And like it's overtly repugnant to me that you wouldn't even try. You wouldn't even try. You did it for a second. You proved you could do it. You can do it. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Please, just do it for the rest of the goddamn movie.
The justification I'm gonna make for that is that he's trying to distance himself from his father by forsaking his Russian heritage.
Oh, for the
But
love of Christ.
now that his dad's dead, if we include him in any future projects, can he just be Russian, please?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my father's dead. I no longer hide the fact that I am a Russian man, and so I am now able to speak in the language of my homeland.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Kraven.
Yeah, it works. It works. It works. It's infuriating. Oh my god. Dude, I need an aspirin. Holy shit. That's been something that's just been building on me for like the past couple days. Why did he not do the accent? And like, I guess the only thing else that I could think of is in like a sort of metatextual way. People don't really want, like, I guess people associate like a Russian accent with villains because of like Bond movies and whatever. And they wanted to make this character be an anti-hero, but that's very like,
Which they also failed at because he's
Yeah.
just killing bad people.
yeah,
So
he's just a hero.
a hero.
Yeah.
I don't see how this like. Also, he has a fear of spiders, and like that
For
was
no
set up.
reason.
Yeah,
That's comics. That's comic lore.
it is comic lore, and like his mom's tweaking because she can feel spiders crawling on her, and like that wasn't that. Like it was just like, oh, she died in a mental hospital, whatever. But like, I feel like we should have seen that earlier before he's like tripping out on this stupid rosemary bud or whatever, and like bears witness to his mother about spiders, and spiders are crawling or from whatever. It was a very cool shot. Don't get me wrong,
Crawling in my skin.
dude.
I love how
I'm
the
calm.
reason that we see the spiders in that scene is because Kraven is hit with a toxin
Yeah.
that was developed by
Mhm.
like some government agency. I forget if they say it's American or not, but the exact words are like, it shows you your deepest nightmares and then it causes paralysis.
Yep.
So we only see this toxin used one time, and it is on Kraven. And when we see it used, we have spiders. We see spiders everywhere. It's the only reason that it shows you your deepest fears is so that they could have a trailer shot where Kraven looks down at billions of little spiders falling down from the trees.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was exclusively for the trailer. Like, you could have just not done the fear thing. It could have just been a paralyzing agent, and it would have been fine. But we gotta have it has to have something to do with spiders.
Gotta
I think.
have some kind of spider connection.
Yeah. So does this have to do with
The more
Spider-Man?
tangential, the better.
Not Spider-Man, just spiders.
It has to do with spiders, I think.
Okay. The
Um,
chameleon effect looked kind of stupid, didn't it?
It was. If we thought the rhino looked bad, the chameleon shot. First off, turning around and having
Tiny Aaron
ATJ's
Taylor Johnson.
superimposed face on a body that's a foot and a half shorter was the funniest shit. in the
Yeah.
whole
Foot and a
movie.
half shorter and a foot slimmer.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And
And
then,
then,
when
like,
he turns
I mean,
back
he
around
turns
and walks
around.
away, he gets the comic face where it's just
Mhm.
like, now that's his real face and he just goes back and forth. It
But,
was
like, why?
so bad. It was bright white CGI in the middle of the night.
God,
With,
man.
with a seam
Holy.
down the middle and no nose.
Holy, it's.
I like this movie.
I like this movie. It's bad.
I
I hate
It's-
this movie.
Okay, this is the best way I can describe it. The fact that this is, in my mind, the third best of the 6 we've gotten, and it is what I would call a fun bad movie.
Mhm.
It's not a bad movie this is a movie that I'm glad that I spent money to see it just so that I could have the experience, because
Mhm.
I'm just glad I saw this movie, not because it's good, but because I had a good time.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I enjoyed it. I understand that my rant over the accent implies that I hated this more than I thought, but I liked a lot of it.
The action scenes weren't nothing crazy. I guess it's kind of cool to see ATJ like running up against the walls, bite a
Mhm.
nose off. In the first half, I said it was an ear. It was the front of his nose. No, it was like he spit it out the side window at the guy, and he was like, ugh.
I kind of thought that Chameleon's arc wasn't bad.
I liked it.
I like he was developed
kinda-
pretty well.
It became it was like partly a surprising turn, but once it happened, it was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I was
Makes a
really
lot of
worried
sense.
that at the very end, when Alexi's like, "You haven't figured out who it was," and it like shows Chameleon with the gun behind Kraven, I was like, has he been pulling the strings this whole time? Is it like, is it him, the one who's the bad guy? This whole thing.
That would have been interesting.
It would have been interesting, but I think that would have been too soon of a shift. So I'm glad that they did that with Nikolai being the ultimate villain, and then having Chameleon later finally like sink further in and becoming the one that takes over the family business. However, I think that Dmitri should have been the one to kill Nikolai. I think that part of the arc that was being set up for Dmitri is like early on, and Nikolai's like, you can't even lift a finger against me. Like you have no spine. You are just the weakling runt of the family. You have no, you don't have anything you could do to stand against me. So I think what could have worked is once he finds him in the woods and they have their conversation, and Nikolai could say something about like, "Oh, you for as much talk as you are, you were never going to kill me because we're family," or something like that. And Kraven could say, "Yes, but I'm not your only son that you've screwed over." And instead of the bear coming to eat him, Dmitri is standing behind Nikolai and just shoots him. I think that would have been good, and I think that would have been a good way to transition even further into Dmitri being the one to take over, because he's the one that killed Nikolai for his position.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I will say, I think, because the whole thing was that Kraven didn't want his brother to, like, become like their father.
Sure.
And so that's why it was, like, such a shock to him that he was like, no, why are you taking over? You have the opportunity now to be yourself, be your own man. And it cements that this trauma from growing up being the only son to their father, was deeply mentally upsetting for him.
Sure.
And I like the idea that he didn't kill him, because, well, Kraven certainly shouldn't have let it happen, because Kraven up to that point has been like, no, I don't want you to get involved with anything that's happening here.
Fair point.
Which kind of hammers home the idea that, like, Kraven's a bit of a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And Chameleon calls him on it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, not to the same extent, but like just another man hunting for a trophy. I buy that as like Chameleon turning against his brother.
Yeah, that's fair.
Works better for his villain turn against Kraven by the end. Overall, I thought the performances were pretty okay. Russell Crowe looked bored, but he was putting in work.
I mean, it's Russell Crowe. He just kind of ends up in these. Speaking of Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
We have not talked about Kraven himself.
We haven't.
Because the best parts of this movie is the freaking side characters, man.
It's the stuff around him, really, that's more interesting.
Shit just happens to this guy. Like, I don't know, man.
What is his arc? What is his
arc?
He
has one. I don't think he has an arc to speak of.
He gets a cool vest.
He saves his brother. It's a revenge story. It doesn't really have...
It's John Wick.
Like, this man does not grow as a character.
No. It's John Wick if he had, like, Vixen powers. Like...
Do we want to talk about the big reveal here that, like, kind of opened up a lot of implications for us as writers to continue in this universe?
Oh, yeah.
So it turns out that both Chameleon and the Rhino discuss this scientist in New York who was able to, like, I think at some point they actually say the words, bring out your inner animal. Like, there's an animal inside of everybody or something like that. But, like, to give them powers, animal-based powers. And the name that they gave was Miles Warren. Dr. Miles Warren, who in the Marvel Comics is the Jackal and has nothing to do with genetic powers. He's the guy behind the clone stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think they just pulled a name out of their ass.
They absolutely just pulled a science guy that people would recognize from
Would do
Spider-Man.
the meme of the snap and whistle at the TV.
So yeah, Miles Warren canonically exists in this universe, and we'll use him.
Oh yes, will we?
Do we want to do something fun?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that this movie had no post-credit scenes.
Yeah, baby!
Which, to be fair, I guess now knowing that this movie is seemingly the last for a while
Yeah.
or ever, I guess it makes sense that they didn't really want to tease anything in the future. But as you guys know, our universe continues. We are
It
not
does.
stopping with Kraven.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't quite feel right for this movie to not tease something.
You know, this reminds me of what you were saying, I think, during The Last Dance, where you were like, from this point on, after Kraven, we're just going to move on with our own universe and ignore anything else that is coming after. And I think the universe heard you and wanted has to do with Spider-Man, I think, to continue. So the fact that Kraven is the last one, and from this point on, we don't have to worry about any kind of problems or contradictions that we have to deal with in our stories. This means that we have free reign from now on, and that makes me very excited.
I can't believe that in between recording the first half of this episode and the second half, we get an official confirmation that this universe is dead. We're going to keep going, and we're going to make it better, and we're going to build up to a grand conclusion. Mm-hmm. So this is not the end. This is far from the end. This ain't even phase 1, brother.
This ain't nothing to me, man.
And so with that, I want our mid-credits to be a warehouse in New York. People seem to be panicking, packing stuff up, running. We see somebody pass a briefcase to a character who we pan up and see that it is Hugh Grant. Somebody refers to him as Dr. Warren. And they're trying to get him out of there because seemingly the warehouse is under siege. A lot of people are being moved. As we see these people walk by, we notice that some of them have various odd features about them. One has scales across their back. One is growing patches of fur. One has oddly shaped fangs and yellow eyes. They're being carried off in cages on trucks and trying to get them out of there as quickly as possible. And on a security camera, we see two people fighting a lot of armed goons. We see Morbius and the Vulture. And that'll be where we cut.
This is my pitch for the post-credit scene of Kraven the Hunter. We find Kraven in snowy Symkaria on a dark night. He is stoking out the office of some big shot criminal dude that he needs to take out. He stealthily climbs through the window with crossbow in hand, ready to do the whole shish kebab thing that he did early on. But he steps into the office and steps into a puddle. And he looks down, and the criminal that he's here to kill is already dead on the floor. He looks to the desk, and the chair spins around, mirroring how it did early on. And we see Silver Sable with a massive gun, played by Samara Weaving, kicking her feet up onto the desk and saying, "Well, first come, first served." Cut to black.
Ah,
I like that.
I like that.
Okay.
She's got to be in like the comic accurate suit.
Oh yeah,
because
100%.
Nobody calls her like Sylvie Ha or anything.
Maybe not specifically comic accurate, but I'm imagining like a silver trench coat and like a gray tack vest or something like that. Okay. So that's our Kraven review, guys.
Top 10 movies of all time? Best movie
No.
ever or worst movie ever?
Worst movie ever.
Best
Absolutely.
movie ever.
Worst movie ever.
Best movie ever. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our rants and our discussions. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Special thanks to Dylan Roth for making the intro music.
Absolutely.
Tune in 2 weeks from now for the next episode, which is
Montana and the Enforcers. Written by yours truly.
Our follow-up spin-off slash our follow-up spin-off to El Muerto, Montana and the Enforcers. We have heard this, and it's about to be re-recorded. This is the second one that needed re-recorded, unfortunately. I'm still upset about that.
and then after that is going to be Jarrett's next pitch, which is
The Vulture.
Nice.
you've decided upon just the Vulture.
It is The Vulture.
Okay, I'll respect that. I like that. And then I think that we're probably going to end up taking a bit of a break so that we can go and write our team up movie, which we're not going to quite announce the name quite yet. We'll announce it in the Morbius episode. We'll probably wind up taking about a month break, I figure. In between that time, we'll probably wind up posting some stuff on our Substack, so be sure to follow us at that, which has to do with Spider-Man, I think.
Some behind the scenes stuff, some special access.
We might post some like snippets of scripts, maybe some discussion. Perhaps we might have some art or something. Then we'll roll around the bend to our Phase 1 finale and start workshopping Phase 2. So get excited, everybody.
Guys, as always, thank you guys for listening. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. And thank you guys so much for listening. Have a good one. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.